Welcome, welcome. It's 3:30 on the dot. They say to be early is to be on time, and to be on time is to be late. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our live today. Welcome to Let's Talk Funeral Service, Volume 1. And today we're going to be discussing life insurance versus pre-need arrangements. As you all know, we're in a pandemic. COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic is going on. Looks like things are dying down a little bit, which is good for us. However, as the states and cities start opening back up, we want to be prepared. And when I say we want to be prepared, we want to be prepared for the inevitable. The inevitable being death. I know we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to discuss it because that's one of the things in life that we dread. However, it would behoove each and every one of us to be prepared for this time, not just for ourselves, but for our families as well. Okay. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about the differences between the two and how you can be prepared and have your family prepared in case that happens unexpectedly. And even since you do know that it is inevitable, you'll be ready for when that time comes. Okay, let's dive on in. First, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Funeral Service. The first volume here that we're going to discuss is life insurance versus pre-need arrangements. We'll learn the differences between the two, which one will better suit you as an individual, which one will better suit your family. I want to also thank our first responders during this crisis. We couldn't make it without you, essential workers. And last but not least, the last responders. That is my industry, the funeral service industry, funeral directors, embalmers, removal specialists. We are the ones that finish that final stretch out for the patient. You know, we are the ones that have to care for them after their passing. So salute to my fellow constituents, the last responders, as we are essential and very important as well. So I salute everyone that has been working diligently during this time. Feel free to ask any questions, leave comments down in the comments. If you have any comments, I'll try to address those comments for you. And then if not, if you see this later, we can still address the comments later on. My name is Star Ellis. I'm your host today. Today I am presenting presentation, one being the Funeral Service Professionals United organization. I want to thank entities for trusting me to be able to talk to the public and share information that is valuable so that we can be enriched and educated on some things a little further today. Okay, go ahead and like, please, if you don't mind, like this post, this live feed, like it and share it. Share and also tag those who you know can benefit from this content. We know everybody can benefit from having their arrangements, their final arrangements done. But if you know anyone specifically in a situation where you've either heard them talking about this or you know they might need this information, go ahead and tag them in this post right now. Tag them so that they can get the information. And then even if you like to share it and tag people later, that's fine as well. We just want to make sure that people get the information. Okay. All right. So let's go. Life insurance. What is life insurance? Okay. Now, and I just like to say this too. Some of the things that we'll be speaking about today, you might already be aware of and know what they are and what they entail. But just look for little pieces of information that might help you as far as not knowing what that was and being enlightened so that you can maybe share the information, because we do know that, we need this. So, okay, let's go start. All right. Life insurance. What is it? Life insurance is the protection of for your family at your time of passing, whomever the beneficiary is. If we're speaking in terms of you having your own life insurance policy, you have protected your family at your time of passing. Let's explain what protection is. Your protection is your final expenses being covered, so that they will not have to worry about paying for your services. And we all know deficiency in funds is one of the main stressors when it comes to that inevitable time. So, life insurance on you will prevent your family from having to stress about the cost of your funeral service, your cremation, your memorial, whatever it is you prefer to have at your time of passing is covered in your life insurance. Okay, there are a couple different kinds. There's whole life insurance, term life insurance, and I'm just going to stop there because you can speak with your financial professional to get a little deeper into that. But I'm just going to talk about those a little bit. Whole life insurance, it allows you to build on that policy down through the years and to be able to borrow off of it and utilize those funds later on when you see fit. If you want to take some out and do a large purchase, you're able to utilize some of those funds. But it's a loan. It's a loan. So you have to be careful and figure out what's best for you and your family. Okay. That's how whole life works. And there's more to it. Again, consult with your financial professional to get specifics on that. Okay. Term life insurance is where you have a specific time frame that life insurance lasts. You can't borrow off of it. However, term life insurance, the face value of the policy is larger because your installment payments are lower. Okay. And it's kind of just like a straightforward method of having life insurance. You pay it and you pay it down through the years, and you pass away. This is what the beneficiary gets. So, for example, you start paying on your term life insurance policy at 25 years old. You pass away at 60 years old. So your beneficiary will just receive that lump sum, whatever your face value was when you started the policy. Okay. Usually in term life insurance, I've seen some rates as low as $25 per month, to be able to have a face value of six figures for your beneficiary. So, you can't beat that. I do want to say that in our community, a lot of times this is something that we don't deem to be valuable or important, but I need you to understand today that it's very important. The reason why life insurance is important is because not only will your family not have to worry about the stress of the financial part of your passing, but they will have money to continue living because more than likely you were providing a stream of income for the family. So they will not have to worry about that. So that means even in your passing and being gone, you are still taking care of your family. You're taking care of your children. You're taking care of your spouse, even in your passing, and they will be okay with you being gone. This is also considered one of the easiest ways to gain wealth. How so? Because as a father or a mother, and you leave these finances to your children, they haven't done anything to gain wealth. Because when you pass away, now they have 6 or 7 figures in their bank account to be able to start a business, to be able to do those things they like to do in life. Hopefully, you had that same experience. But even if you did not, it's time for us to break that chain. Break that chain. Those of you who can afford it, those of you who, we know you can afford it because we have money. It's just how we decide to spend our money. But if you go ahead and get that coverage for yourself so that your offspring can benefit at your time of passing, they are now in the category of wealth. But do your best to be able to train them on how to manage this money before you even pass away. Have 6 or 7 figures ready to go at your time of passing, but you have trained them in the way to handle that money before you left. So that is why it's very important to grab hold to the concept of life insurance for your family and do it for generations to come. You know, in our community, this is something that has not been stressed and emphasized. But I'm here to tell you today, we need to start stressing and emphasizing that so that we can start becoming more independent in our society and having financial stability for our own individual families. Because once our finances are in order within our household, then our finances can be in order for our neighborhoods, and then they can be in order for our communities, and then they can be in order for our cities. Come on, somebody here should hear where I'm going with this today. Okay, so just keep that in mind when it comes to life insurance. Learn the importance of it. I'm giving you a little bit here, but there's much more to learn, and you can always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions in regards to this. Okay, so that's life insurance. That's generally the cost. So my recommendation when it comes to life insurance is to get a policy. Here's the thing: if you have money, then you don't really need life insurance, okay? Because there's money to take care of your final expenses. There's money for your family to be taken care of when you're gone. But if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, if you just have, you have a regular flow in your life, you might even be doing well. It still does not hurt to have it so that your beneficiary can be taken care of when you're gone. Okay, so my recommendation is, especially if you are a family person, if you're a man or a woman, you have children, you have a spouse, even if you do not have a spouse, but more so if you have children, they should be covered and protected in the event that something happens to you unexpectedly, God forbid. But it does not hurt to be ready. Okay, it never hurts to be ready. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Life insurance. Moving on, let's talk about pre-needs. Pre-need arrangements. Okay, pre-need, you will hear this term quite a bit when you're dealing specifically with funeral homes. Okay, and what we are talking about is we're talking about pre-need arrangements. That means you have decided to take care of your specific final arrangement, whether it's going to be a funeral, whether it's going to be a direct cremation, whether it's going to be a funeral with a cremation. Yes, we can do that. We can do that. And a lot of people were not aware that we can do that in these days and times. We can actually have for your loved one a funeral service and then a cremation, which that offsets costs for you because you don't have to worry about the cost of a burial plot. Okay, so feel free to again talk to me, reach out to me, and ask more questions about this. If you want clarity on anything that I'm saying today, I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, so the funeral home that I'm affiliated with here, we have quite a few packages and services available for you to partake in advance. So when you say pre-need, you're taking care of it in advance instead of waiting. Okay, so pre-need is very important. Why? Because we're taking care of your final arrangements before it happens. Why is this a good thing? Because when the inevitable happens, we've had to deal with the pressure of coming up with the money. We've had to deal with the pressure and strain of missing the loved one. We've had to deal with the pressure and strain of other family members arguing about what grandma wanted, arguing about what dad would have liked. But if we had taken care of all of this beforehand in a pre-need, then that is something that we can do away with, and all those additional stresses can be missed. when that inevitable time happens. Okay, so for example, we have direct cremations starting as low as $6.95 for your pre-need. Okay, and me, Star Ellis, I am responsible for those pre-need arrangements for you. So feel free to reach out to me if you like to get your arrangement set up. We can get that taken care of. And the good thing about your pre-need is those numbers are locked in. So if you go ahead and lock in your pre-need arrangement today, and you don't pass away until 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years from now, those numbers are still in place. So consider that as also another financial incentive, because we all know that inflation happens. Inflation happens. So whatever you're paying this year, in 10 years, it could double or even triple. You see how things are crazy now nowadays with the government. So it would behoove you to go ahead and take care of these things in advance while there's no pressure. You can sit down and have this conversation with your family. I like these colors. I like this to happen. I like that to happen. Most people don't like to have the discussion, and that's understandable. But whoever is bold in the family, the boldest one, sit everybody down and say, hey, what would you all like to happen for your final arrangement? You'll be surprised what your family members and loved ones might say. But at least everyone knows what he or she wanted, so that when the time comes, everybody just not in an uproar. Now she wanted this. Now she like this. Now he want that. You don't have to worry about that if you just took the time to sit down and discuss it and to go through the preliminary measures so that you can be ready. And I'm going to keep saying that through the whole video so that you can be ready. It's all about being ready. There's nothing wrong with being ready, and there's nothing wrong with being prepared. Pre-need. Pre-need, you can also take care of those costs, in one lump sum, or you can also do those in installments, just like you can for life insurance. Okay. Life insurance, you pay on that for years and years and years. But again, usually that face value is high. So you can get 6 or 7 figures on a life insurance policy. Whereas with your pre-need, generally you are just paying for your final expense. You're paying for that funeral. You're paying for that cremation. You're paying for that memorial service through your funeral home provider. Okay. And another good thing about your pre-need also is that whatever you decide to have for your pre-need arrangement, even though you will actually do the paperwork with a specific funeral home, that arrangement is also good for another funeral home. So for example, say next week you say, well, Star, I'm ready to go ahead and get my pre-need together. I don't want my family to have to stress about it when that time comes. Can we go ahead and get my service and all my arrangements set up? And I will say to you, yes, ma'am, absolutely, we sure can. Okay, so we'll sit down. We can do it by phone. We can do it by Zoom. We can do it by whichever way is comfortable for you. And I will say to you, okay, so we have your paperwork together here. I just need you to know if this is good for whatever funeral home you all would like to choose at that time, because things happen. For example, just because you started with a particular funeral home and did your pre-need arrangement with that particular funeral home, you could definitely say this funeral home closed down in 15 years, or this funeral home, moved to a different state or anything like that. So you would be able to take that money, because once you do your arrangement, it goes into a trust. Okay. It goes into a trust, and the funds are held at a bank in a trust. Okay. So when the time comes, whomever is the beneficiary or the purchaser will consult with the funeral home that they wrote the policy with. And again, if that funeral home is not in business or something else has transpired, then the second line of protocol would be the funeral trust fund that it's attached to. So in that case, then you would decide at that time where you will want the funds to go. But see, it's still a good thing because it's still already taken care of. You would just take the policy and go to a different funeral home, but you still don't have to have the stress about, oh, well, who am I? What did she want? Well, how are we gonna do this? Did she want to have a funeral? Did she want to just be cremated? It will already be in black and white and taken care of, so nobody has to stress about it. Okay, I mean, so I just wanted you all to understand and be able to distinguish between the two and figure out what's best for your family. Okay, let's see what we got here. My recommendation for to get a pre-need would be for anyone. When we're speaking about the differences between the two, I definitely would suggest a life insurance policy for a family person, simply because you want to make sure that your kids are taken care of when you're gone, and you want to make sure they're good, your spouse is good, anybody else in your life, whether it's a younger sister, younger brother, that's more to financially care for a loved one after your passing. Okay, pre-need, I definitely would recommend to anyone that doesn't necessarily feel like they have that particular uh, close knit bond with people in their lives, or even if you are a family person, and you just really want to make sure that your arrangements are taken care of so they don't have to worry about that part, then arrangement might be what you decide to do. But either way it goes, you want to have one or the other so that it's taken care of, so that your family does not have to stress when that time comes. Either way it goes, you don't want them to have additional stress concerning your funeral or cremation services. Okay, it's already bad enough that they have to lose you. This is something that we can't avoid. It's going to happen to each and every one of us. So we want to make it as easy as we can. And with this pandemic going on, it's definitely an advantage for you to sit down and think about getting your arrangements done. I will be more than happy to help you to get that taken care of. Happy to take care of your pre-need arrangement. We have our some starting as low as $6.95. You could take care of that, and it'll be taken care of for the rest of your life. You wouldn't have to worry about your final expense. So again, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I don't want to hold you all too long. But again, feel free to reach out to me, Star Ellis, so that I can help you in either of those avenues. I can write life insurance policy term life insurance policy for as small or as large as you would like to have. Again, those term policies are pretty low in cost because the objective is to have you spend a low monthly rate for your life insurance policy, but the money that you're saving, it is recommended that you invest the rest of it, because our goal is to get you in a place where you're financially stable and you are financially literate. That's the goal when it comes to this type of life insurance. Okay. And then with the pre-need, give me a call. I can get you set up tomorrow. You can figure out if you want to have a funeral, if you want to have a cremation, if you want to have a funeral, then a cremation. I can help you with all of those. Okay. And the cost is minimal. You can just do a deposit and you can pay on it monthly. And then, it'll be taken care of before you know it. and then you have done a wonderful deed by making sure that your family is not going to have to worry about that portion when you're going on from here. Okay. All right. So, if you like what you heard today, make sure that you go and like Funeral Service Professionals United page. Like the page. It's a new entity. They got a lot of things coming up for you, so you don't want to miss it. And the only way you're going to be sure that you get it is if you go and like the page. And once you like it, invite your friends to like it. Because as I told you before, and I think it says down here somewhere in the notes, this is volume 1. So we're going to have a lot of things to discuss with you as funeral service professionals. Any of my constituents that are listening in, go to fspu.org, become affiliated with us, and we can get you on the lives as well. I can have guests on here. We can have guests, and we can discuss all different types of things for the community and for the public to help educate and to help enrich. Okay. All right. Go to fspu.org, my constituents, funeral service professionals, and join forces with us. Okay. All right. Send me an email at info@fspu.org if you want to get in on this with us. info@fspu.org. Okay. And that website is fspu.org. Okay. All right. That's pretty easy to remember, right? Okay. And if you personally liked listening to Star, you want to see what else she has to offer, go and go and friend me on Facebook at Star Ellis. Okay. Star Ellis on Facebook. On my Instagram is Star Ellis Truth. Star Ellis Truth. TRUTH. Okay, that's on Instagram. And then also Funeral Service Professionals United is on Instagram if you like to follow that organization on Instagram as well. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I think that's it, Star. Yeah, send me an email. Still send us questions. Send questions in the comments. You know, I had a few people on here. Thanks for tuning in, you all. And we're going to come back again for volume 2. So stand by. Be checking the page. It's always going to be posted on there. And we're always going to give you very valuable, good information for you to learn about yourself and your family when it comes to funeral services. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you next time.